All right. All right. Check, check. Okay, we're good. Let me get to the dashboard. All right, guys. Thank you. If there's anyone here already, just bear with me while I get set up. I am not an experienced caster. I am just figuring this stuff out myself as I go here. I took a little break for I just excuse me while I take a text. I just took a break to have some get some food going here. We are currently working on a mobile puzzle game. You know, it's a simple explanation. The TLDR. We're gonna I'm working with Pixie as it shows as my kind of my rendering framework, and that's what we're gonna play around with this afternoon, this evening here. So while I set this up, oops. All right, now let me pop this out. That's better. Okay. Excuse me. I will also ask you to bear with me as I eat some of the dinner I made here for myself. My delicious chicken parm calzone, which I will kind of snack on. I suppose that implies I should figure out how to mute my mic. Seems like an important thing to know how to do, but we're new here. Again, this is my first day casting, my second cast if you count the break, half hour break I just took. Um, if anyone's here yet, again, welcome back, and let's get started again. So where we were last time is I was kind of playing around. I was looking at someone's code who had done an integration between Pixie and um, Angular JS. I'm drawing a blank there for a moment. Now, it occurred to me as I started going through this, it's rather complex, and I don't know these frameworks very well. This is the first time I've ever been using them. Um, you know, I don't think I need to do all that much integration just yet. I think maybe I want to get to know these frameworks a bit better than I before I try to do this complex integration once I realized that it was fairly complicated. So I'm going to go through my changes here and keep the stuff I know I want to keep, which is not that. Uh, we can get rid of that. That. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, none of that was very important. That was just out. Back to my last. This was, again, yeah, for the testing. Okay. So, again, if you happen to be here watching me, again, feel free to ask any questions about what I'm doing. I'm going to try to explain and narrate what I do as I do it, both as practice and documentation, a form of documentation. Obviously, this is all going to go up on YouTube, and I can go back and rather than make comments, like what I was actually thinking and saying as I or saying, presumably thinking. So if we go back here, we can see we got no more. We already have Pixie. Um, so let's pull up that documentation. Okay. Now this is one of those things where I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat. I'm not gonna be coding any just yet. One second. That's my controller. Um, I'm gonna take off my headset for a second, which means that you're not going to hear me on my mic, but that's a good thing because I'm going to take a couple bites of my sandwich here and pull up some documentation I need from Pixie.js. So again, if you're watching, I apologize for thinking. Bear with me. I am watching the chat, so if you have a question, ask it. actually show up as a screen? When my screensaver goes on, does anyone see that? Curious. I don't know how it works. If there is anyone out there. All right. Thank you, viewers, patient viewers, for putting up with that. Um, okay. So in order to use Pixie, we're going to need a canvas, aren't we? All right. Let's go back into our, excuse me, demo HTML. Um, my collaborator is gonna, like, I think, laugh at me over this because I went through the whole I went through the whole trouble of integrating Susie and Compass and all that crap. And what do? Let's use the align center. But we'll fix that later. What was I doing here? Documentation. Again, is there anyone out there? Say hi, hello, welcome, and please, again, pepper me with questions whenever you want. I am paying attention to the chat. And I very much appreciate anyone who's swung by to say hello. This is my first day, my first cast, so again, please bear with me. I will get better at this. I'm going to do this every day until I am a kung fu master at it. In the meantime, you will have to bear with me. But just, again, think of all the indie cred you will have by following now. You follow now, I mean, you're as elite as it gets when I'm, rule the world, right? It doesn't get much. Your indie cred will be very high, so I recommend following. Okay, so let's put our canvas in here. This is where we'll get our pixie. What do we want to call? Call that scene. It's just 800 by 600, right? What the hell? That sounds about right, right? All right, so our canvas. Whee! Excuse me. Next, what are we doing? Are we gonna need some code? Let's try this. Let me see if I can. Oh, you know what? I just thought of something we need to do. We need to add a watch. We need to add a watch. We need to add a watch task to our build. Know what I'm saying? Awesome. All right, perfect. Perfect. Okay, it's working and doing what I want. Before we forget, let's do this. One moment. Okay. Is there anything else we need to watch? That's the LB services, but that's yeah. Okay, so I'm adding a new task here because it just occurred to me what I was thinking of. This is I'm every once in a while you're going to see this. As actually happens all the time that I suddenly think of something totally different than what I'm happen to be working on. And I don't want to forget about it. So right now we're adding a watch build task for the SAS and LB services. LB services is a loopback specific thing. SAS, if you're used to, it's, it lets us do, other, lets us use syntactic sugar in our styling that gets generated into CSS files that then get distributed. In a nutshell. All right, so we're add watches for changes to the SAS files and for changes to server.js. Anyways, I know what I'm talking about here, so good enough. Why don't my custom ones show up here? I created custom ones on GitHub and I don't discussion. Anyways, I don't need it now, but GitHub, why isn't that working? Get on that. All right, very good. Anyway. Again, focus mode. I'm actually very new to this. Anyway. All right, back to the task at hand. So here we go. This is the screen. This is where our game's. Actually, we probably want to do it the other way around. We're talking about a mobile game. No, this is not. Oops. So even though this is not an appropriate, you know, resolution, you know what? For now, it's fine. Whatever. We're great. One of the things I should mention is that the way we plan on doing our game here is that we plan on using a lot of vector graphics in that we're going to use a lot of SVG. We will use rasterization, but it's going to be a post-processing step for the most part. And that we're going to try to render everything specifically for the device and stuff. Excuse me. This is architectural stuff we haven't really, it's a little premature, I think, to too far into. But again, this is all for my own documentation. So I'm going stream of consciousness here. All right. So now it looks like we're just let's create an initialization hook, right? Do something simple like this. Right. What am I doing? The whole idea here. Let's just do this like this. I'm just going to go right ahead and do this because keep it all right here. Function init. Excuse me. Oh yeah, one thing I should note is we're calling this demo, the working title right now is Vivaria. I have to do some research to see if that's actually been taken. I mean, it very well may be a famous game I've just missed, so I got to look around and see what the copyright status is on that. But for now, that's our working title because, again, although I haven't discussed this much, the theme and the setting and the kind of the surface of the game, the identity of the game is about ecology, and it's about nature. It's about natural selection in the context of a puzzle game, right? That's the basic idea. It's a challenge, really, because we have some good ideas and some good leads as to where we want to go, but it's by no means is everything figured out. And one of the cool things is here if you come in and you join me here, you can have about as much influence as anyone else on how this stuff comes out. I mean, right now I have two collaborators. My artist, who's CSS Boy, I believe, on Twitch, and my game design buddy, like an old school. I'm sorry, one of my older friends I've known for a long time. Who we've been doing game design sessions together since we were little kids. Torma. He's got a lot of different handles, but usually he's Torma just about everywhere. So the three of us are going to pull together and do this thing. And if you want to come contribute, if you want to come help, if you want to come ask questions, we are here. I'm going to be doing this daily, and we want you here. So come and ask questions, please. For now, we're going to log Vivario demo initialize. We're just, again, proving everything works to ourselves. Here we will set up our Pixie.js type stuff. That need a I don't think that needs a closing. Oh, you bastard. Yeah. Okay, so a stage is let's make it a different color so we can see it. Something like that. You can see, so the idea here is we're gonna set this up, this Pixie stage. I think once it's initialized, that should tell it by the color on the screen should tell us whether we actually called this correctly. Oh wait. Okay, so now some of this is starting to, some of the code I saw before is starting to make a little more sense to me. We got anyone in chat yet? If you are, don't be shy, say hello. But in any event, feel free to lurk as well. We love all lurkers as well. We love the lurkers. Come lurk. More than welcome to lurk here. So this should pull out our WebGL renderer. Okay, so if we're going to set up this renderer, we need and again, if anyone, if we have some client side like JavaScript wizards, jump in any freaking time. And if you see me doing something non-idiomatic, or you see me doing something stupid, or you see an easier way to do it, please, for the love of God, please tell me. I don't care. I have no. I don't really have it much. You know, I'm not going to care about being corrected. But I want to learn every little trick I can. Again, I'm more of a server-side developer, so this is all kind of a new. A new thing for me. Okay, so width, height. What am I doing? That's not right. Stage. So you see what we're doing here. We needed to put a width and height for the renderer, and since we already got a canvas there, we don't want to have to. We certainly don't want to duplicate anything, right? Don't repeat yourself. Dry. DRY. Do not repeat yourself. Super important. If you're doing something twice in a program, you got to take a step back and see if you can abstract something away, right? General principle. That's not always true. Obviously, it's up to the developer's discretion and stuff. I mean, there's arguments in either way, but part of the whole point of this is for me to kind of dump some of what I've learned. I mean, I've been developing for about 15 years now professionally, and I've learned quite a few things. I started working really young, and I worked in very challenging, top tier, sink or swim environments, and I've learned quite a bit. I've worked with some unbelievably great, unbelievably talented developers. I'm incredibly fortunate in that regard. So I'm hoping that I can kind of also impart some of my, wisdom, so to speak, or whatever, such as it is, that I've accumulated over the years. And I'd love to debate it. If you disagree with me, please say so. Let me know. I'd love to hear it, because I think you may be right, and that would be really valuable. So now, I believe what we want to do. So everyone understands what we're doing here, right? So far, we've got the stage set up. We got our renderer. Now we have one more argument for here, though, which is apparently an object with an anonymous object with. What is that? Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay. So you see what we're doing here. We're creating this isn't a configuration object. We're creating an anonymous object that has view. Property. And we are going to just get the canvas and tell it, right? So here we're getting, oh. How come anyone didn't catch that? Someone should have told me about that. So width, height, and there's the stage. Excellent. Now that we have our renderer, we have our scene. What do we need next? We're gonna actually need to render the stage, right? There. Same. Okay. So now, but we don't have anything to display, but let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's just see if this actually flies. Like I said, we want to make small, tiny incremental changes. I really do not like making very many changes before I do lots and lots and lots of check-ins compared to most other developers I've worked with. I do a lot of small, trivial check-ins, but it makes sure that I don't, like, I always have a way back, right? God, that drives me nuts. When I have, because I have my dashboard up to monitor chat, I can't just like alt tab into this thing, which is really frustrating. And let's look at our console. Oh no, there we go. Boom, boom, boom. I had a syntax error. Okay, can someone tell me what I'm doing wrong here? I don't see a problem with that. I really don't see a problem with that. Sorry, I don't mean to like lean forward. I have to a whole bunch of bad habits to unlearn while I learn to cast here. So again, thank you for your forbearance while I learn this stuff. Pardon me. So why is that not working? That looks right to me. I tell you. I tell you what. I tell you what. See, I thought this still got loaded before the body unload and knit. Like, why can't I do that? That really doesn't seem like a problem to me. Pixie's getting loaded. LB services is loaded. I tell you what, that looks right to me. It really does. I don't see what the problem is there. Maybe someone can, anyone watching has an idea what I'm doing wrong here, but I do not see it off the top of my head. Let's see. See, it's not calling, and it is not defined. Unexpected token. Is it just, this isn't supposed to be there? Is that really it? Excuse me. So we build here. Where is that? Oh. Okay, good. I had the wrong, I was making the wrong assumption about which thing it was, right? Anyone watching that? That was a silly mistake. That was pretty silly. I get it now. I don't need to rebuild. Ooh, you do not need a pixie stage anymore. You can render to any container. All right. Width of null. Yeah, okay, well. Well, it was the document, it was a Pixie.js documentation that told me to do that, I should note. Okay. Fair enough. So let's try this. Actually, I think we probably want to leave that. Although, do we even need to do that? I mean, think about it. There doesn't seem to be a good reason we would want to duplicate this code. Don't repeat yourself. Why are we repeating ourselves here? We need to look at the Pixie auto detect render. Oh, okay. Here's another good thing we need. Again, I have another task to create. This is like a dev. Okay. Anyone familiar with C? Anyone watching? Are you familiar with C tags? So C tags is a tool that allows you to index functions and definitions and allows you to index like what's the word I'm looking for? Signatures, so that when you get autofill in C tags supporting editors. I don't know. I'm using Atom, which I've really liked, and I'm just assuming off the bat that it has C tags support. And if it doesn't, that's an interesting project we can do ourselves, right? So, so we're going to set up C tags for loopback, Angular, Pixie.js, and other core dependencies. Configure. Okay, so I just don't want to forget about that. C tags, yeah, C tags is really cool. But we're not going to deal with that now because we're trying to figure out how to do our thing here. So I'm going to pull up a little bit of documentation, Pixie.js. Okay, and we want the API documentation, right? Pixie. Auto detect renderer. Okay. Optional. Okay, so it is optional. This right here looks like it's optional. We don't really need that. Okay, now we have a few more cool things we can add here. I realize. And so we will. While we don't really care about the view, I am going to add anti-aliasing. I happen to be, okay, wait a minute. So I happen to be on a Retina machine here. So I'm going to do this way, just for kicks. And then here we should be able, again, document by element stage, which is our, wait a minute, no. That's not correct. It's a canvas and it's called scene. Oh, you know what? Don't repeat yourself. All right. Now that ought to work. Hmm. Okay, let's take a look. What did we do wrong here? Document get element by IID. Oh, does it not exist yet? No, that doesn't make any sense to me. Well, oh, Angular. Yeah, right. Anyone, I'm sorry, I just dropped off the chat for a moment. If anyone has just joined us, I apologize. I have not been paying super close attention here. Um, So again, if there's a viewer out there, welcome. My name's Sean, Debauch Sloth here. We're figuring out how to play around with Pixie. I'm making a 2D puzzle game along with two other collaborators who aren't really online right now. I'm working by myself here for now. Um, I was online earlier. This is my first day, my first cast. We're gonna do this daily from now on. So again, I'm a really ghetto setup. I'm very pleb here. But it is enough to do what we need to do for this game, and it is enough to cast, and so I'm just going for it here, and you'll see me on hopefully every day now from now on. Um, Width and height. So the canvas ID is seen. Well, let's go back to. Yeah, the demo. I'm thinking. Okay. I'm gonna do this. This isn't good. We shouldn't do this. But I'm gonna hard code. These are magic variables, and we're actually, just so we don't forget about this, we're gonna add. So we have a dependency issue here. I don't know when that. I think the canvas isn't actually initialized by the time this is called, which might be a problem. But um, we could always just make it here, right? Right? You know what I mean? We could just tell it to go ahead and make the canvas, right, if it's not there, and then we might have a issue. But let's just start here and see what we get. Okay, now that's weird because that is a function. See, this is the problem. Client side, I don't really. Pixie auto detect. See, that is in. Okay. This wasn't giving me this problem before. That is strange. Right, before it was just saying this. saying that scene didn't exist. I got an idea. No, I don't want to do that though. Because I got to figure out how to get this to work. Any way you slice it, you got to get it to work. Right? Again, thank you to anyone who's watching and lurking. I don't see anyone on chat right now, and that's quite all right. But feel free to say hi. Don't be shy. I am paying attention. And I do want to hear from you. I am trying to figure out how to properly initialize Pixie.js in terms of Angular, my Angular stub application I have here. Initially, I was going for a much more intricate integration right out of the box, but it ended up being a little more complex than I started. So now I'm just trying to do a simple thing, just get Pixie loaded, just get some stuff going, and from a simple static Angular template. And the main issue I see right now is figuring out what's the load order and everything. So hold on one moment. I'm actually going to take a few more bites of my sandwich here. While I meditate this on a moment, this would be a good time to write any questions you have. Be right back. Oh, okay. Like I was saying. Okay. So instead of, excuse me, instead of having this in the template for now, what I'm going to do is actually just try this other way of going about this. Oops. This is what the yeah, makes sense, right? This will be interesting to see. Oops, that'll be interesting to see where this shows up. And when I append it here, like where does it show up in context of all the other template, you know, the descending order of templates that get loaded? It'll be interesting to see. This is a good that should be it, right? Just and then do the stage. This is our scene graph, right? If you're familiar with the concept of a scene graph, right, is excuse me, like a hierarchical, like it's kind of like a directory system for stuff that you're going to render, right? Allows you to group. It allows you to manipulate stuff as a bunch of complicated stuff together as one. Allows you to talk to define stuff in relative terms of something else, etc. And it usually involves parenting, which is figuring out who is the descendant of who. Again, just if you're used to a file system on a computer, it's basically the same concept. It's just for a rendering engine, but it's all the same stuff. Okay, so let's see if we've got our actual stage set up now. We've gotten rid of the other one. We should still see the same kind of thing. Although I think the style will be a little... Yeah, perfect. Bam! Oh, I like the little hearts they gave me. That is nice. Thank you, Pixie. We love you too. Oh, all right. So let us go back to... Okay, but now it's all borked because we put it... it's not... Try this. What is this for? Anyways. That work? Oh, I don't need to do that. Right, I don't need to do that. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So now that, because we're doing Sass here, right? Sass is it's a CSS syntactic sugar thing. So I got to do my build again for that one. My build is not very sophisticated right now. I could automate this, and I actually have a task recently added to do the watch build task to automate this stuff. So things will get a little easier. Okay, stop. There we go. Nope, that didn't work. All right, very good. Okay. Try that. Oh, wait a minute, is that? No, that doesn't seem right. All right, so we know that this does indeed create exactly what we expect, a canvas, 800 by 600. And the renderer view is obviously the default thing there. New Pixie container. Let's take a look at what the Pixie container is. There anyone in chat there? How's it going? Oh, I see a few new people might have joined. How you doing? If you're lurking, that's great. Welcome. Again, my name's Sean. I'm building a puzzle game here, and if you're getting bored of hearing me repeat stuff, it's just because I don't know who's coming. There's some lurkers coming and going. So we've just about got our Pixie environment set up. We can actually start loading some textures and doing some interesting stuff, right? Doing some actual display of game crap. And then we have to also talk about the design and model. We're going to do a lot of design over the next week, actually. Over the next week, we're going to probably be doing about half code and half design. So documentation and kind of just fleshing out the ideas for this game, which we've done. Me and my collaborators have done kind of together brainstorming sessions, but we still have to document everything. So we will be doing some of that, unfortunately. I know it's not the hottest stuff to watch, but all right, let's get back to what we were doing. So we have our container. I'm sure there's a way to do this. I'm gonna let my CSS guy figure this stuff out. For now, I can just live with it being in not a line. I don't really care. All right. So now we're going to need to load some texture. First things first, right? If we're going to do this, we're going to need to get some textures up there, right? Now, I don't know if you guys ever heard of RimWorld. RimWorld is this awesome game. This is this great alpha game that you can go buy. But for the modders, excuse me, they released this like all the resources, like basically everything that all the images and stuff. So I am going to borrow his stuff and use these for now until my artist can come up with his own. Now keep in mind this is a private repository. You couldn't publish this, and I should probably ask permission from these guys if we use it for more than a few days. But I think in this context it's just fine. But I just wanted to give a shout out to RimWorld because it's an awesome game, and it's a really awesome game actually. Okay, where was I? Find her. In documents, where the hell? Let's see here. What the heck was it? Here we go. RimWorld textures. Okay, great. Bam. Okay. So, very good. So we have some. These are just some stuff. This is these are just literally just some excuse me, text and stuff here. World. What happened? Oh yeah, these are. Oh wait a minute, these are just PSD files. Oh man, I thought these were like pings and crap. All right. We are going to have to talk to my artist here. Tings. Let's look at our tings. Plant a building. Battery. Oh, okay. Not so bad. We can just export these, right? We'll figure this out. So what do we want to use here? We want to use, I'm trying to think here. A plant. That would be perfect. Let's just pick one of their plants here. Agave. Sure, why not, right? Let's pull this open. I am not a Photoshop guy. Don't know much about it. I've tried doing some drawing with the tablet, and it's pretty brutal for me anyways. So, oh, look at that. Okay. Awesome. Let's export this as a, okay. Oh. I'm not worrying about compression here for now. So again, thank you if there's anyone online who's watching right now. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it if you consider following. We got one follow today. I'm actually really excited. This is my first day casting, my first my first time doing this, to actually get a few viewers, a few people stopped in and say hi. I was actually really psyched about that. So rousing success, as I said. And again, if you're watching, thank you. What we're doing here is we're just creating a simple asset for us to get rid of. For us to present inside Pixie. So we can close Photoshop now. I've got this agave, which is tiny, it looks like. All right. But that's okay. So now let's go back to our game here. If we go to now, I have a design decision to make here. Where are we going to store assets? So we have the basic layout of our project structures. We have the server, the client, and then common. So the domain model is going to, the shared model between the server and the client goes here. I think we actually want assets to go there too. Really do. Let's discuss this. This is an issue we discussed on GitHub, and I'm actually going to update that after we do. So, all right. So now we got our assets plants, and we got our little agave ping. So, excuse me. Refresh my thing there. I don't see anyone in, oh, doesn't look like there's anyone in chat, right? Just me? All right. Lamo. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Nice. Adam has that. Okay. Very good. So let's create our first agave texture. Oops, texture. So here we go. We're creating a new texture. We're just going to test this. So where are we calling from? Where is this going to be run from? Views, client, we're going to go up. No, index is we're going to go up one. Common, assets, plants, agave, right? Oops. I don't like uppercase. My file names, personally. Okay. So now we have, let's do this. Is that it? Object? Or is it J? I think that's it. Again, if there's any JavaScript experts or any web developers out there, any who are watching, I see there might be someone lurking in chat. How you doing? Welcome. We're building a puzzle game here, and let's see if we got it. Bam. Texture, perfect. Look at that. Oh, not found. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here's the problem. You see, does the person lurking see what the problem is here? Well, we created a texture, and the object does get created by Pixie is initialized properly, and all that's good. It's not finding this get because it's doing. It's funny that common assets, plants, agave. I'm gonna have to set something up to serve that on the website. It should be able to just load that locally. I guess I'm kind of confused here. Why isn't that local? Why is that trying to get this through HTTP GET? I don't think it should be trying to do that. From an image path. That's what I got to take about. What's an image path? Just one moment, please. If you could bear with me, I am to look at the documentation. And I need to figure out, what was I looking at? It was the texture, right? Texture, okay. And what are we doing here? Go back to our code. I have documentation off screen right now. And again, sorry, I'm if you also checking chat and also here, I'll put this over here so sure I can see that. Don't be afraid. Don't to say hi. If you're lurking, we want to hear from you. If you don't feel like it though, don't worry about it. Okay. So now we need, okay, so if we look up, we got to figure out how to do this texture. Right now, the texture is trying to pull it over HTTP, and that's not what we want. We want to pull it directly from the file system if we can. Oh, wait a minute, that's not going to work. We're in the client. Sure. Okay, so we, okay. Thank you for bearing with me. You know, development is one of those things that I have to figure some of this stuff out as I go along. So I understand there's going to be tracks where it's kind of boring because I do have to get into focus mode and juggle some stuff at times. But don't be afraid to interrupt me. I'm constantly checking the chat and I want to talk with you. So what we need to do. From image. I see. So it is a URL. Cross origin. Okay, so okay. The issue is here now we're gonna have to. I can see already that we're already gonna have to get some we're gonna have to kind of make some. We're gonna have to change. We're not gonna be able to load this. We have an issue here, right? We have to serve up our static images, which implies, right, that we have to generate because we have these. I want to keep these common, so I think what we want to do is like copy these into image under the client. And then expose it in app, right? Right now, no matter what, the default URL just goes to demo. I think we need to create a new state for this. You know, we want to create like an image, static image thing. I'll look into how to do. All right, so let's create our task. Let's start by the first thing we want to do here. Whenever we're about to do, we know what we want to do. The first thing we want to do when we know what we want to create a issue in GitHub, right? So the first thing we need to do is client assets build update. It's a better topic. The details are we in the regex that we generally use in Gulp, I believe that's about right. Again, if anyone's watching, and you let me know. I hope the resolution is okay. I upped it so the the scale of the text so it could be a little bit more readable on my monitor when I'm looking at what I'm casting. It looks like it's unreadable, but I suspect that's because it's been shrunk down. So hopefully it looks okay to you guys. If there's any changes I can make to make it look better or easier to understand, then thank you. Let me know, and I would thank you. So we want to copy our assets to client. Oops. Copy common as is the client image. We want to keep the directory structure. We're going to just basically copy that. I'll have to take a look at what gulp task we want to use for that. With those there, we need to update the okay, and then once we have the anyways, this is probably good enough. Point is the build needs to be updated. This is kind of like a dependent task. Actually, do they let you do that in let's take a look at GitHub. Do they let you even do that? Like, can you do a tags? We'll come back for that later. That's watch. Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe we should do a couple of these build things. What do you say? Is anyone watching? Would you rather see build or image asset loading? I know. Where does the line start? It's like super exciting either way, I'm sure, but all right. Anyways, one sec. All right, what time do we have? 7 o'clock. Okay, very good. So we've been casting another hour. I'm gonna actually, one moment, I'm gonna take another bite of my delicious calzone. Oh, I remember. Just had it. All right, there we go. Oh man, the lighting's getting bad in here. I apologize for that. After I did some upgrades, I should be able to hopefully have a significantly better, higher quality stream. But this is Ghetto Gamecast, devcasting here. Indie cred. Indie cred. Okay. So, we've got our clean, we got our Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm creating an out. We're working on. Let's go back to where. Let's make sure we know what we're talking about here. Right, we're working on enhancement number 15, issue 15. We're updating the build so that we have some static, a way to pull the images into our Pixie context, our WebGL context. We have to load textures. In order to load them, we actually have to pull them down off a website. So we're getting to the point where we really need to do development and have, I mean, the other thing we should add is watch. We should also add watches to the build. We should also add like something that spawns a server in the background so I don't have to manually keep, reloading it. Again, that's kind of what the watch is for. Excuse me. I already have an issue for that. We'll go back. We'll get back to that. For now, I don't really care. I'm just doing kind of simple. You know what I mean? Okay. So we're going to assemble. We're going to create an assemble task. This is what I decided to call it instead of copy. I think assemble is a little more generic. We have generate, right? Oh, generate should be done. Just a little bit. No. Whatever. Oh, wait a minute, no. How do I want to do this? Yeah, return gulp source. And we want, where are we? Gulp file, common. We might not have only image assets someday, but for now, it's safe to say we shouldn't expect. Ah, that's all we want, right? Oh, now we'll pipe it to gulp. dust. Oops. Source. Do we copy? Okay, so when we say there's got to be a way to ensure. Let's see if it keeps the directory structure, right? Actually, that's yeah. This should probably be a symbol image, but and then we'll do this. Because we might have to assemble other stuff like XML files, JSON files, etc. So we're going to assemble images. Now, this doesn't depend on anything, right? We're just copying static files to a static location. I don't suspect we're going to do any. I mean, we may ultimately do some filtering during this assemble process. So why don't we what would it have to be dependent on? It doesn't have to be dependent on anything, but we can add at least a clean images, just in case we want to get rid of those for some reason, those copies. Oh, client. Yeah. That might be. Okay. How you doing? Hey, I see there might be someone lurking there. How you doing? Welcome. I'm updating my build right now to kind of give me access to the images I need to load up. I can't load them up locally. I have to pull them down off the server. So I'm adding some infrastructure here to make this all happen the way I want. All right. So here we go. We're going to clean these and clean client. Okay. Oh, there we go. So now this should be, let's take a look. I like to take a look at my source control sometimes to see what I just did. And that's new, the gulp file. Okay, here we go. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Oh, I know what we're missing. This won't get called by default, so generate assemble. So build has to have generate and assemble done before. Yes, excellent. That's what we want. So default launches build and test. Build launches generate and assemble. Assemble, yada yada. Okay. And you can see all my generates up there. Very good. Let's try it out. Oops. Yeah, I know. Oops. 20. What did I do wrong here? What did I do wrong here? I didn't add a comma in between the function arguments. It happens. What? Okay, assemble image is not in my gulp file. Oh, I got you. Yeah, you're right. How's that? And there we go. Again, anyone lurking, thank you for joining. Please feel free to ask me any questions. I am, let's see here. Now, let's see if our images are going in the right place. Yep. Hey, and look, it does exactly what we want. Awesome, right? So the build is updated. Check one. Now, the next thing we need to do is to figure out how to get that image thing, static images showing up. So one sec, let me just see here. Let me try this. I think I can just actually, might not even need to do anything. I can just come here. Try this. All right, again. Nope. Nerp. And I know why. And I know why. Because I got high. Because I got high. Because I got high. All right, where we got? Wait, what happened to my local host here? Did I close that? Hey. Bam! So it worked. You see that? See if the URL, there it is, images plant, okay, perfect. What's my name? All right. And so let's, okay, now that that is being displayed, let's try this. We want to, let's create a sprite out of that texture, right? Right. Actually, let's do this. Because I just want to call that agave. And we're just testing here. This is probably not the most idiomatic way to do it, but whatever. So let's give it something. Give it a location. Anchor X. Wait a minute. Try this. I think that's, oh, centering the anchor point. Okay, right. So that's saying, you know, this is an offset 0 to 1 as to where the center for the image, the centroid of the image should be considered. So let's create our actually I prefer this. So scene. Now we're adding our sprite. And let's just, we're just going to kind of run a function here. It's super simple. This is from the examples in the Pixie.js documentation. Request animation, animation frame. And we give it this callback, which is this. Right, we're giving ourselves as the callback. Let's just, like I say, we'll spin it around. so we can see it doing. All right, this looks good to me. You guys get it? See, we're providing our own animate function. So the idea here is we're adding our own animation, our own animate. One moment. Let's get back. Sorry, I had some documentation of it. If you just joined chat, oh good, I didn't miss anyone. But again, please feel free to speak up if you're out there. I really want to hear from you. And let's go back and see what this looks like. Hey, all right. Oh, you know what? It's doing the right thing, but we just want to move it somewhere, right? Let's try this. What was I thinking? Oh, yeah. Whoops. Ta-da! All right. Victory. All right, very good. We like seeing that. Look at that. So satisfying. Oh yeah. All right. Very good. So, we have succeeded. I think we finished. I think we've actually succeeded in doing what we wanted to do with our task, weren't we? Number 15. Bam. Right. So let's just go to our here. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Right. Very good. Anyone out there? Yes, no, maybe. Feel free to say hi. I have had a few visitors, and it was really nice talking to folks. I would love to chat more with anyone who swings through. So don't be shy, please. You can hear me say that a lot. So again, let's go over while we're here. I'm just going to do this for my own edification here. Let's go, Ben, what we're doing here. This is what we tried to figure out here today, and we figured it out. We closed our image, our issue. So we created a renderer, which is basically creating a canvas and then the pixie renderer. We appended it to the document. We created the actual scene. The container seems to be the scene. We created a new sprite for our demonstrative little agave ping. Loaded it from images plant agave, which is now being served off of our, you can see here, we're running it in the background in our console. We have to manually do that. We want to update the build to handle that at some point. Excellent. So I think this is actually a rather considered, it looks like someone just joined us. We've managed to, we were just trying to test, we were just trying to get Pixie.js working inside our demonstrative app and having it pulling down the images off the server, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we've got it going here. So I got to center this. I got to talk to my CSS boy guy, my guy who's going to help me with this. My artist can help me figure out the little deets on like that. That is kind of bugging me though. But we're building a puzzle game, and right now I'm just kind of getting I'm fleshing it out, getting the basics working, and discussing what I'm doing as I do it. So again, if you've um, again, welcome if you're joining us. Again, it's not very far along. It will get, but and if you find it boring, come on back. Keep checking in, please. Following is free, and um, it's going to get better as it goes along. You will see progress rapidly. I'm going to be here every day. For the moment, however, it looks like since I'm the only one here, I'm going to take a quick break, a very quick break. Let's see if I can. 1 second. So, all right. Again, for anyone joining me, I'm going to take a quick break here. I'm going to keep it running. I'm going to keep it running. I'm just going to mute the mic here and take care of a few things, and then I will be back shortly. Again, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm not going to stop streaming. I'm going to keep working tonight. It's about 7:30. Came back on at 6:30. I'm going to try to go at least till like 9 o'clock or so. Well, I think we can find plenty of stuff to do until then. I do at some point. I gotta talk to my partner here and figure out what where we're gonna go next steps. But when I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do for tomorrow. But in the meantime, I'll be right back. So thanks again. 1 sec.